Hi there, and thanks for tuning in. Today's lesson is going to be Chapter 1, Lesson 1, Solving Simple Equations. We are going to be looking for 10 things to write down in your notes today, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to write down are the addition property of equality and the subtraction property of equality. That just means anytime you add the same number to each side of an equation, or if you subtract the same number from each side of the same equation, it's going to produce an equivalent equation. Let's go ahead and take time now to pause the video here and write down both the addition property of equality and the subtraction property of equality. Once you're done, click play so you can see what happens next. Alright, so what we have here are just two examples that we're going to be seeing. This is the first half of our notes, anytime we see addition or subtraction. In letter A, we see subtraction happening with the letter X. So what we're going to do to that to get X all by itself to solve it is we're going to do the opposite of subtraction. Opposite of subtracting is adding, so we're going to add 3 to both sides. I'm going to draw a line right here just so you can see there's a left side of the equation sign and a right side of the equation sign. A minus 3 and a plus 3 or a negative 3 and a plus 3 cancel out to be 0, so all you're left with is X. But over here, a negative 5 and a positive 3 make a negative 2. So in letter A, X is equal to negative 2. In letter B, a little bit different. On the side with the variable, we have y plus 2.8. So what we need to be doing here is subtracting 2.8. And notice how from letter A to letter B, the variable has now switched to the right side, and that's totally fine. You simply still do the same requirements needing to solve for the answer. Because I've got a smaller number over a larger number, I'm going to rewrite this here, but also keep in mind that 2.8 is a negative and it's larger. And 2.8 minus 0.9, if I just borrow, I'm going to get 1.9, but that 1.9 will need to be negative because I had originally a positive 0.9 and a negative 2.8. These 2.8s cancel out, so y is equal to negative 1.9, or negative 1.9 is equal to y as your final answer for letter B. Here are 3 that you're going to try on your own. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pause the video here so you can try 3, 4, and 5. Once you're done, click play so you can check your answers. Okay, so in number 3, we see a plus 3 with the. So to get n all by itself, we're going to do the opposite of what's happening to plus 3, which is minus 3. Being careful really here. Those 3's cancel out, so all I have left on the left side is n, but a negative 7 and another minus 3, or another negative 3, is going to give me a negative 10. So n is equal to negative 10. For number 4, I see g minus 1. If I add 1/3, that's going to move it to the other side. Again, being careful with my negative rules. Negative 2/3 plus 1/3. Those are different signs, so we have to subtract them. So 2 minus 1 is 1. And we're going to keep the sign of the larger value, which is negative. So g for number 4 is equal to negative 1/3. And then number 5 on this page, I see a plus 3.9 with our variable. So I'm going to subtract 3.9. And just because I'm subtracting doesn't mean I'm going to subtract from this other number. Because both of them are negative, I'm actually going to add them together. Same signs, add and keep. So 5 plus 9 will give me 14. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus another one is 10. So P is equal to negative 10.4. Okay? Next up, we have the 2 other properties. We have the multiplication property of equality and the division property of equality. Just keeping in mind, anytime you multiply each side of an equation by the same non-zero number produces an equivalent equation, and the same thing for dividing. Let's go ahead and take time now to pause the video here so you can write down numbers 6 and 7, and once you're done, click play to see what happens next. Alright, so these are a few examples you're going to be seeing. The first one in letter A, you're going to be seeing a division sign, and we're actually dividing by a negative. If you see this negative right here, so really it's n divided by negative 5 is equal to negative 3. Okay? Because we see division, what we're going to do to get rid of division is multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 5. Dividing by negative 5 and multiplying by negative 5 cancels out. So I'm left with n on the left side, and negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. So n is equal to positive 15. Remember, you can always go back and check all of your solutions. If I put in 15 over negative 5, that does equal negative 3. Okay, so just keep that in mind. For letter B, we want to get x by itself, and notice pi is by x, and we're going to divide both sides by pi. Pi divided by pi is just going to be 1, and also these pi's are going to cancel out. So that might have been a little bit trickier for you to see. X is going to be equal to negative 2. And then letter C, we have 1.3 being multiplied with z, so again we're going to divide to get rid of that. Divide by 1.3, and that's the same thing as saying 52 divided by 13. That's going to give us 4. Okay, these next few you're going to try on your own, so let's go ahead and pause the video here so you can try 8, 9, and 10, and once you're done, click play to check your work. Alright, so for number 8, we see division. So if you wanted to rewrite this, just so you can see it a little bit better, I'm going to use multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. These 3's will cancel. So on the left side I'll have y, and negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. So number 8, y is equal to negative 18. To get x by itself, again, we're going to divide by pi on both sides. Both pi's will cancel out, so x is equal to 9. And then the last one, number 10, I see a multiplication, so I'm going to use division to solve that. I'm going to divide both sides by 0.05. And again, that's the same thing as doing 140 divided by 5, so w is equal to 28. Okay, you probably showed a little bit of work for number 10, and that's fine. A few reminders about problem solving. Make sure that you're understanding the problem. What is actually not known right now, what's being asked. Make a plan, so what type of maybe properties would you have to use to solve this. We need to solve with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, then solve it, and then 4, look back. Always make sure you can check your work, and that's always make sure a guarantee that you can get that question correct. That's going to conclude our video for today. Just make sure you have those 7 things written down. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.